truth in journalism, where brave men and women gave voice to the voiceless. But then the corporations bought the journalist, poisoning the news that we are fed. With those tainted sources, all we ever ate was a steady diet of status quo. This hijacked narrative hid the truth of mass suffering, injustice, and corruption throughout our land. Status quo, status quo, status quo, status quo. To expose this shift to oligarchy came a band of honest journalists. They left the studio and hit the street to give the microphone back to the people. Status quo. From sea to sea, the people were empowered to share their truth. Their voices no longer stifled, reclaimed their power. Join the media revolution now.
Jordan Sheridan live, Monday, May 11th, 2020. Hope everyone's having a decent day and is feeling okay. I'm not feeling okay. In fact, I'm feeling a little angry, to tell you the truth, because I'm not one for conspiracy theories that aren't true. I do enjoy conspiracy theories that are entertaining, but I think something's going on, folks. I think something's going on here, because on the same day that I just happened to politely tweet something at YouTube asking why my interview with former Senator Nina Turner was being age restricted. When I just happened to do that, which got, decent chunk of tweets. Let's find this. Here we go. Team YouTube, what is this age restricting? An interview I did for Status Coup with Bernie Sanders campaign co-chair Nina Turner. You're already throttling our channel to the point no one sees our videos and live streams, and you're denying us the ability to place ads, because we've been trying to attach ads to certain videos to try and get it seen, since YouTube has been suppressing this channel going on 2 years now. Why would our video with Nina Turner be age restricted? So Team YouTube, always so helpful, as in not helpful, responds, when we find content that may not be appropriate for all audiences, our team will place an age restriction on the video. Here are some of the things we consider for age restriction. I'm not going to bore you with what they listed. Violent video, graphics, innuendo. So there's only two possibilities here. YouTube age restricted the video. Thank you, Al Walski, $5 in the super chat. All is well if it ends well. Contribute for happy ending. Thank you, Al, for the $5. Hopefully we do get a happy ending. And here, it is a super chat, so keep it going. Now, there's two possibilities. YouTube, the headline of the video where Nina Turner says it's time progressives hold the Democratic Party hostage. She's talking about politically hostage, not an actual kidnapping of violence. The video, if you watched it, she was talking about adopting Tea Party tactics, minus the racism. So was that too graphic for certain ages on YouTube? Or because we played a clip of the heinous execution of Ahmaud Arbery, who was just murdered in February in Georgia by a white father and son duo. He was black. Could that be why they're age restricting it? But it's interesting because they age restricted the interview I did with Nina Turner, which had the Ahmaud Arbery video and the gunshots. Yet that same video we have in 3 other videos that they didn't age restrict. So it seems that they're only age restricting a video that has a strong progressive politician calling for the Democratic Party to be taken hostage by progressives. It seems like that's the one they decided was not suitable for all ages. I have had it up to here. I've had it up to here with YouTube. And since you're asking why is the video buffering, because I need a new computer. This computer, simply put, is not strong enough. The processor is not fast enough. I don't have enough memory, so we are looking into new computer options. Which reminds me, thanks to all of you, we are now past $100,000. We have passed $100,000 via GoFundMe. So give it up, folks. Woohoo! Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're almost at 1,500 of you donors, 1,500 donors. Thank you, Kelly Elaine, $5 a couple minutes ago. We passed $100,000 over the weekend. I mean, I can't say enough for a small startup to pass $100,000 raised without taking a cent from banks, fossil fuckers, big real estate, big pharma, big real estate, Silicon Valley. It's truly remarkable, and it shows the true demand and how much you guys value what we're doing. And I really appreciate it. Jen appreciates it. Colin appreciates it. Our goal is 110,000. For those of you that are OG Status Coors, we originally set our goal at 85,000, which we met a couple months ago. But we took out the GoFundMe out of retirement because, frankly, we've lost so many members due to coronavirus. Let me restate that. We haven't lost members to death that I know of, but we've lost members to cancellation, just, people getting laid off and what have you. So right now we're at 1,807 members. We were well over 1,900 members about a month and a half ago. So we are losing members. We totally get it. For those of you that have had to cancel, we miss you. We hope to see you back when you can. So we are trying to raise money in the GoFundMe to offset those membership losses. Good news, thanks to your ongoing GoFundMe contributions, we just made a deal with LiveView. LiveView is the mobile satellite that we use when we were on the campaign trail in Flint and elsewhere. It's basically how we go live when we're out in the field. We had the LiveView 300, and we used this opportunity now. LiveView 300 is the second to best level. The LiveView 600 is the top of the line level. So with LiveView 300, the quality was pretty decent, but there were still issues in certain areas, particularly remote areas, where we couldn't go live well. So we just made a deal with LiveView to get a new LiveView 6, not a new, it's a demo version that they've given out to serve as a demo, but there's no problems with the unit. So we just made a deal for, normally this would have cost us $16,000 to upgrade. We got it for $8,000. So that will be in the mail soon. And we'll have the top of the line LiveView now for when the coast is clear and it's safe to go back out there in the field. Jen and I were talking, and we just said, you know what? If we're going to be doing as much in the field reporting we're doing, we need the right tech equipment. And this unit normally is $24,000. So we're trading in, and most of the big news outlets, when they're in the field, have this unit. We have not had this unit. We had the second to best level. So this is going to be really, really helpful, particularly, let's say we go to a story like Navajo Nation in really, really remote areas with not good signal. This will help us go live. Not that there will never be any issues, but we wanted, while we could get a discount on it, to get the best equipment. So we're only able to do it because you guys have been continuing to contribute through GoFundMe, membership, Super Chat, all those things. And we also have to buy me a new computer. We're going to try to trade this one in so we can get a cheaper deal. So keep it coming in the GoFundMe because it's not cheap to do this kind of journalism. That I can tell you. So let's get to it. Remember, YouTube is suppressing us, so you could help us by smashing that like button. It's right under the live stream. The more people that press the like button, the more people that will see this very live stream. So keep smashing that like button. It's the thumbs up button right under the live stream. Also, we are about to hit, I think, over 1,000 people on our text list. If you're not signed up for our text list, get going. Text 370-370 and type in COUP. So text 370-370, type in COUP. More important than ever, because like today, YouTube, it doesn't seem like they notified anyone when we were live. So the only reason our audience is even decent right now is because we sent out a text. It is extremely expensive for us to keep sending out texts. It's costing us between 30 and 40 bucks each time we send out a text, but at this point we don't have a choice. So sign up. We'd like to grow our text list. Watch us, follow us at Status Coup on the Twitter. We are live there right now. And also sign up for Twitch. The good thing about Twitch is not only do we want to grow our audience there, but from what I hear, people are getting notifications at Twitch. So first, sign up for Twitch if you haven't. Yes, Amazon owns it, but at least what I could see, it's not being too throttled yet. So definitely sign up for Twitch and then follow us, twitch.tv/Status Coup, and then sign up for our email list, statuscoup.com. So, the image, Jen could explain why it's $30 to $50 per text. It's a real ripoff. That's all I can tell you. It's a real ripoff. But at this point, in this era where all independent outlets are being suppressed, we have to spend money just so people could see us when we're live. It's really, really wrong that we have to do that, but we have to do that. So, let me get to it. We are in a time that, honestly, at this point, I don't think it's a dramatization to say we are at the same economic level that we were at in the Great Depression. The only reason people don't see that yet and feel it yet is because the soup lines haven't started. But there are food lines starting around the country. Real unemployment, which the unemployment number that the Bureau of Labor always puts out, is not the real unemployment level. The real unemployment level is usually higher. And although it said 14.7% unemployment last week, the real unemployment level is 24.9%. Let's just round it to 25%. The U.S. has lost 33.5 million jobs. So the Great Depression, unemployment was at 25%. And we're not even close to being out of this, so it's very likely that real unemployment surpasses the Great Depression's level. Pretty soon, actually. I mean, the economic carnage is getting worse and worse and worse. So I bring all that up because both from a political point of view, but also from a just good government point of view, now would be the time for big, big thinking, wouldn't you think? Now would be the time to say, when America's in crisis, America has to do big things. Bernie Sanders, who, I don't think has organized like he should. I think he could have organized his mass army, particularly his email list and all that, for things like a rent strike and all that. But putting that aside, Bernie Sanders seems to get it. Bernie Sanders, alongside Kamala Harris, kind of a surprise, and Ed Markey, who's being challenged by the Kennedy's spawn, Joe Kennedy, who tweeted out the other day, I covered it yesterday, no American should have to face a big bank trying to take their home without a lawyer, or medical bankruptcy without a lawyer. So he doesn't seem to think medical bankruptcy is a problem. He thinks facing medical bankruptcy without a lawyer is a problem. But I digress. So Bernie, Kamala, and Ed Markey, they have a simple proposition. $2,000 rebate program for every American, including children, until the COVID-19 pandemic has ended. I would argue, $2,000 is good for individuals, but I think it should be more for families with children. But this is a better start than what the crap that the Republicans and Democrats gave us, which most people haven't even gotten the crumbs of $1,200 yet, or the unemployment, since state unemployment offices have been overrun. So Bernie, Harris, and Markey putting forth $2,000 a month, no questions asked, for every American, including children, until COVID-19 has passed. The bill would grant married couples who file together $4,000 and $2,000 for each child up to 3. So I understated it. So if you're a married couple, $4,000, $2,000 per child. So that would give serious relief to American families right now, as the cases are still going up. I don't know, right before I went live, we were about to hit 80,000 deaths. All across the country, these crazy governors are reopening, even though in a lot of those states, the death counts are still very high. The case counts are still steady. So, thank you, Gene Shahid, $4.99. Just the entertainment industry alone employs thousands of people, and we don't expect to have work until 2021, September at the earliest. Yep, it's a great point. So, thank you, Matthew, $10 in the GoFundMe. I'm going to try to thank you in Super Chat, GoFundMe. Keep it coming in both places. We are less than $10,000 away from our ultimate goal of $110,000. So thank you, Matthew, Kelly. Let's keep it coming. So 25% real unemployment. Bernie, Harris, and Ed Markey put forth this legislation that I agree with. I think it's a good start. I wish it was more than $2,000, which if you live in a major city, your rent for a studio could be more than $2,000. But it's a much better start than $1,200 one-time payment. Unemployment that you can't even get because the state offices are overrun. And right now, I'm going to get into the Democrats' proposal for the next bill, which is completely inadequate. So you would think that President Trump, who is behind in most of the polls, would, obviously to me, it's very clear this man doesn't have any real ideology other than Donald Trump. So you would think he would be seizing on the Bernie, Kamala, Ed Markey. I'm not a fan of Kamala Harris, but whatever. She's on the bill, so we'll give her credit for this. You think Trump would seize on this because he has shown that he has a penchant to move further left than the Democrats in the past. He out-lefted Hillary Clinton on a lot of things during the campaign. Did he mean any of it? Of course not. But rhetorically and marketing-wise, he went further left, and he talked further left than Hillary Clinton did on trade, on banking, and many other things. And we got almost 300 people watching. 170 of you have pressed that like button. 170 of you have pressed that like button. I need another 100 of you to press that like button. The more people that press like, the more people that will see this live stream. Jordan, your goal should be 125,000 now for GoFundMe. Robert, we thought about 125,000, but I don't know if we reasonably could ask for another $25,000 during Great Depression economic levels. I don't know if we could reasonably and ethically say to our audience and new audience members that might come in, hey, we need $25,000. I don't think it's unethical to try to raise money because we're trying to raise money for a good reason to fund the independent journalism, but I think we need to keep it reasonable during such economic hardship. That's why we set it at $110,000. It doesn't mean, like our original goal was $85,000, We met that many, many months ago, and we stopped promoting GoFundMe, and we took it out of retirement and started re-pushing it when this pandemic hit and we were affected business-wise. So it doesn't mean if we hit $110,000 that at a later date we can't fundraise again. But I don't want to go too high, if that makes sense. I don't want to take advantage during such a tough time. So you would think that Trump, even if he doesn't mean it, would take any desperate measure to go further left than the Democrats. Because right now, Joe Biden isn't offering anything, which I'm going to get to. He's not offering any actual relief as president. He's offering a lot of rhetoric and platitudes, but he's not offering concrete, bold things. He's not signed on to the Bernie, Kamala, Ed Markey bill of $2,000 a month for individuals, or $4,000 if you're a married couple, $2,000 extra per child. He's not supporting that I know of. I haven't read anything that he's the face of that and he would sign that as president. I also have not heard a word from Joe Biden other than we need to stop Trump from pillaging and ravaging Obamacare. Smeary, $5. Hey, Jordan, here's a couple bucks for a new computer. Do you think Trump has coronavirus? I think Trump has a virus that man has not created, that man has not figured out yet what it is. I don't think it's coronavirus. I think it's something much worse. I'm being a little sarcastic. I don't think he has coronavirus because I don't know how he'd be able to hide it the way he has if he does have coronavirus. Sure, you could be asymptomatic. And if Trump tested positive for coronavirus without symptoms, do I think Trump would still go out and do press conferences and be around people and risk other people without wearing a mask? Absolutely, I think he would do that. I don't think Trump gives a damn how many people die. He just cares that he is seen and talked about all day, every day. And the media gives him that all day, every day. But do I think he has it? Probably not. I don't know how he would be able to hide it. And he is 70, Jen, check me on this. I think he's 74. So I don't know many asymptomatic 74-year-olds. If you're 74 and you get coronavirus, you're probably going to have some symptoms. And his health is not like sterling. He reportedly eats a lot of cheeseburgers, drinks like 8 to 10 Diet Cokes a day from reports. So I don't know if he has it or not. I really don't. But thank you for the super chat. I would say I hope he does. I don't want him to get it, but that would be dishonest. I got to be honest with you. I wouldn't mind it. So 24, almost 25% real unemployment. Biden not offering anything. Here's what Trump and the Republicans are now proposing. You can't make this up. That's why I say we live in the United Corporations of America, and this is the economic Hunger Games. Trump may let workers take Social Security benefits early in exchange for reduced payments later. After a $2 trillion economic package, many Americans still want more financial relief from the government. You gotta love this CNBC framing. Oh, they just want it. Not like they desperately need it. The Trump administration is reportedly considering letting workers take Social Security benefits early in exchange for lower payments later. Social Security advocates were quick to criticize the idea because it could create more harm than good. I mean, hold on, Wednesday for members call. Make no mistake about it, this is a privatization, this is an effort on the road to privatization, which the Republicans have wanted for a very long time. And this is a rob Peter to pay Paul scam. Trump reportedly considering another way to get more money to struggling Americans by letting them take an advance on their Social Security benefits. Gee, I didn't hear this same thing when they gave $2 trillion, possibly $5 trillion in the bailout for corporations. I didn't hear them telling these corporate CEOs, "Oh, instead of us giving you direct payment, why don't we'll just let you take out of your Social Security, Medicare, and other funds." No, no, no. The working people of America, we can't just give you money. We don't do that as the United Corporations of America. We can't give you recurring and replenish you Rashida Tlaib's idea of just give people a debit card and refill it every month until the pandemic is over. No, no, we can't do that. That would be too equitable, too humane, too proletariat. We can give unlimited money for the bankers, the fossil fuckers, Silicon Valley, big pharma, big real estate, all our donors, they get the refundable money. You give you $1,200, you know, it might get to you in, 4 to 6 months. Yeah, we'll increase unemployment for a few months, but if you get it, you get it. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. All our state offices are, not really set up for this level of unemployment claims. They're all, very, very archaic with archaic systems. And, if you still can't pay your rent, feed your children, pay your mortgage, then, maybe we'll give you $5,000, but we won't give it to you. We'll rob your Social Security. So we'll let you survive now, but fuck you 20 years from now, is really what they're talking about. Excuse my French, demonetized swear jar, please. I mean, that's really what they're talking about. The Trump administration is said to be considering prepaying Social Security retirement benefits to workers before they are eligible, according to the Washington Post. Generally, workers have to be at least 62 and have worked and paid into the system for at least 10 years. One proposal the White House is reportedly considering calls for letting Americans take up to $5,000 from Social Security now in exchange for delaying their benefits in the future. Oh, delaying their benefits. Social Security advocates fear this could be the beginning of efforts to curtail the program. Currently, about 45 million retired workers depend on Social Security, with average benefits totaling $1,503. In a statement, Richard Fiesta, executive director of the Alliance for Retired Americans, slammed the proposal, asking working Americans to give up even a dime of their future Social Security benefits to survive today's economic crisis is a harebrained idea that would hurt families for decades to come. So, Trump, by the way, this isn't Trump's proposal. Obviously, this is straight out of the Ayn Rand, Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, Republican Party, and they're just putting it on Trump's desk. And Trump goes along with a lot of these harebrained Republican schemes. And thank you, another generous donation from Joe Biden. $10 from Uncle Joe. Thank you, Joe. And by the way, yesterday during our live Sunday show, we got donations from Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell. Who else gave us money yesterday? A couple other shady politicians. So thank you, whoever has all these fake accounts that are giving us real money. We appreciate it. And keep it coming in the GoFundMe. Even $5 makes a big difference. So, and thank you, Paul Myers, $5. Told by Trump-loving father about the Social Security plan over the weekend, he was furious they are thinking of doing that. Well, you should tell your Trump-loving father about the existing tax cut that Trump signed in 2017, where 83% of it went to yacht owners. He might not know that, watching Fox News like my father. Luis Brooks, $2, swear jar. Thank you, Luis. So, why this is so heinous, as David Sirota pointed out, this is Trump proposing this, but Biden has advisors that are also proposing this same thing. What does this have to do with Democrat politics, he writes in his newsletter? Well, it turns out a lot, actually. Let me find it. Natasha Sarin countered with a research paper pushing an alternate idea, allowing workers to tap their Social Security wealth to finance consumption today. Instead of giving workers money in the same way the government is giving corporations trillions of dollars, or instead of vastly expanding unemployment benefits, Sarin and her cohorts want Americans to, quote, borrow against their retirement benefits, effectively turning Social Security into a reverse mortgage. This, they argue, quote, may well be superior to alternatives already legislated because it delivers relief to households that need it most. Echoing Biden's own own anti-deficit rhetoric when he pushed Social Security cuts, the researchers conclude, in exchange for a relatively small cut in scheduled benefits, the government can send sizable checks to most households in a fiscally neutral way. And what he's referring to, by the way, is Natasha Sarin, is a researcher with University of Pennsylvania, and they proposed recently relaxing household liquidity constraints through Social Security, i.e., giving people money now by robbing them of their Social Security later. And Natasha Sarin, by the way, she is a disciple of one Lawrence Summers, who is advising Joe Biden's campaign right now. Lawrence Summers, the same former Obama official, Bill Clinton Treasury Secretary, that gave us NAFTA and Glass-Steagall repeal and all those good things. Sarin interned at the Obama National Economic Council when it was run by Larry Summers, at the very time that administration considered proposals reportedly led by Biden to cut Social Security. Sarin remains a close ally of Summers. She recently co-authored a Washington Post op-ed with Summers that slammed the idea of a wealth tax. That's the same Summers now advising the Biden campaign. Additionally, the American Prospect reports that, quote, Summers not only plays a direct role in Biden's campaign, but has managed to insert close allies and proteges to argue against progressive policies, including his former student and frequent co-author, Natasha Sarin. So this Natasha Sarin, who is putting forth the same nonsense that Trump and the Republicans seem to think is a great idea, to rob you of your Social Security now, to basically steal from your Social Security now, under the guise of giving immediate relief, but to screw you later, which, by the way, any major change to Social Security is just opening the door to privatization. That's what they're desperately trying to do, open the door to privatization. Seth Peterson, $28 in the super chat. Thanks for all you do, Jordan and Jen. You guys have worked your butts off covering and exposing the corruption and BS that is so rampant in the United Corporations of America. The truth must not be kept in the dark. We're working. We're trying our best to keep it going. Thank you, Seth, for your continued generosity. Well, am I hearing rumors that the GoFundMe is down? I don't know. It's showing up on my desktop, Jen. Maybe it went down for certain people, but it's still up for us. Keep donating if you can to the GoFundMe. By the way, just so you know, GoFundMe takes 3% of every donation. Super Chat takes even more than that. So that's why your donations, every donation matters, but that's why we hope you could donate whatever amount you can is fine, but they do take a percentage, so keep that in mind. So Joe Biden, to be fair, Joe Biden tweeted out today that he's not for this. He's not for this madness. Let me get his tweet for you. He doesn't want to rob you of your Social Security to give you relief now. He just wants to rob you of other things. Joe Biden Joe Biden says, I have a better idea. Give people coronavirus economic relief and don't hold their hard-earned benefits hostage. That sounds nice, but there's nothing else there from Joe Biden. Donald Trump is giving you a gift if you actually gave a damn about workers, and if you actually were allowed to propose things without your big mega donors from Wall Street's permission, because he's not allowed to do things without his master's permission. The end of that, what that tweet could say, if he had any integrity, I have a better idea. Give people coronavirus economic relief, like $2,000 a month for individuals, $4,000 a month for married couples, and an additional $2,000 a month per child rather than trying to steal from their Social Security. That's what a candidate with actual moral fiber, ethics, substance, vision, actual ideas would say. But candidates like Biden, who don't have any substance, and their entire campaign is an anti-Trump campaign, they say, I have a better idea. Give people coronavirus economic relief and don't hold their hard-earned benefits hostage in response to the robbing Social Security plan. Another wonderful platitude today was, don't let anyone tell you differently. We have the power to write the future we want for our country. Oh, God. I'm getting emotional with these platitudes from Joe Biden. Well, here's the problem, Joe. Here's the problem. And to be fair, it is Trump and the Republicans that are currently trying to loot your Social Security, although it seems that there are Democratic researchers and advisors to Joe Biden's campaign, that Natasha Sarin is an advisor to his campaign. I'm sure Lawrence Summers is on board with this nonsense. What's truly astounding to me is, and it shows you that it's not even Joe Biden who's making the decisions here, because any politician with an ounce of talent would see, I mean, this is a populist moment. We're in a Great Depression level here. 25% real unemployment. I'm going to put forth not just that Trump is the Antichrist, but Trump and the Republicans are not here to rescue you from the mess they created. $2,000 a month individuals, $4,000 a married couple, per married couple, plus another $2,000 per child. For as long as it takes, the government will take care of it. I'll sign it on day one, and we'll put it through. It's as simple as that. That's all he has to do. But his donors will not allow it. They will not let him do that. Why? Because to these sociopaths in the banking industry, the hedge funders, not all of them. My brother is a hedge funder. He's a good guy. But I'm talking about people that make a lot more than my brother. Some of whom are Joe Biden's top donors, by the way. When they don't want an ounce of consistent, stable relief going to Americans, like a universal basic income, like a government jobs program. Because if you give workers relief, if you give working class people relief, what does it allow them to do? Once you take the noose off their neck, sorry to be so graphic, workers might get the idea to start organizing. Workers might get the idea to start, creating more unions, demanding collective bargaining. Don't even get me started on Elon Musk. Ugh, what a loon. Thank you, Anonymous. $10 in the GoFundMe. Keep it coming. Every donation matters. Thank you, Anonymous. We are, I can't do math, but less than $10,000 away from our goal of $110,000. Which brings me to, this made me furious reading this. Joe Biden writes an op-ed in the Washington Post. How the White House coronavirus response presents us with a false choice. So if you haven't noticed, Joe Biden apparently thinks Hillary Clinton ran such a great campaign against Donald Trump that he's doubling down on that campaign. Because this short op-ed that I would put every last dollar of my savings down, he did not himself write, says absolutely nothing about what he would do. It's all anti-Trump and no vision. The coronavirus to date has taken the lives of more than 79,000 Americans. 1 of every 5 U.S. workers has filed for unemployment, with the unemployment rate now the highest since the Great Depression. It's an extraordinary moment, the kind that begs for urgent, steady, empathetic, unifying leadership. Well, I agree so far, so tell us, Joe, what is going to be that urgent, steady leadership. I don't give a damn about the unification. I don't care about your empathy. What are you going to do to provide people the money they need to keep their children fed? What are you going to do to provide people the health care they need to not die during a global pandemic and go to the doctor? What are you going to do, Joe? But instead of unifying the country to accelerate our public health response and get economic relief to those who need it, Trump is reverting to a familiar strategy of deflecting blame and dividing Americans. Here we go. His goal is as obvious as it is craven. He hopes to split the country into dueling camps, casting Democrats as doomsayers, hoping to keep America grounded, and Republicans as freedom fighters trying to liberate the country. It's a childish tactic and a false choice that none of us should fall for. I'm not going to bother reading the rest of this to you because there's nothing in it that specifically talks about what the hell he is for, what the hell he will do as president for all those struggling and desperate families out there, including many of you watching. It's all how terrible Trump is. Again, the solution isn't a mystery. The Trump administration could focus on producing and distributing adequate testing. Go figure, we need better testing? What a novel concept. And protocols that conform with the guidance of public health experts. Doing so would speed up the reopening process considerably and make it a whole lot more effective. The administration is fully aware that this is the right path too. After all, the president and his staff are now reportedly receiving daily tests. So the best thing Joe Biden has to come up with is we need more testing. I think my 5-year-old nephew, Heath, could come up with that. If Trump and his team understand how critical testing is to their safety, and they seem to, given their own behavior, why are they insisting that it's unnecessary for the American people? And why does the president insist on trying to turn this into yet another line of division, pitting strained, grieving Americans against one another across manufactured battle lines of health and the economy? So let me just translate all this for you so that it's very simple. Behind the scenes, and by the way, we have over 300 people watching. 256 of you have pressed that like button. If more people could press the thumbs up button, more people will see this live stream. Keep it coming. And thank you for the GoFundMe donation. Wow. Barron Trump. President Trump's son is watching. $50 in the GoFundMe. Barron, thank you so much. I'm really sorry you have to live with that father. It must be tough at school, at private school, as they serve you caviar and wonderful, wonderful grape juice for lunch. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have anything against Barron. But thank you, Barron Trump. I appreciate it. We're now, what is that? 600 and I can't do math. Jen, you can let the audience know. How far are we from 101,000? So I want to be clear on a few things here so nobody gets it twisted. Donald Trump is ultimately to blame for how high the death count is in America. Donald Trump is ultimately to blame for the suffering we're all experiencing. I mean, we take the Democrats on here every day, but let's not make it seem like Trump is innocent here. His ineptitude, his ignoring his top advisors, his ignoring public health experts in late January that this was coming and they needed to urgently act then is why we have this high death count. Obviously, listen, Jesus could be president, people were going to die. It's not to say that nobody was going to die. Of course, people would die. But from everything I've read, if Trump would have acted sooner, there would be significantly less casualties. If Trump would have done a lockdown, I know, our civil libertarians watching don't like that thought, but I'm sorry, your freedom to go out and, act stupid during a highly deadly virus does not come before my freedom to want to live. That's what I believe. So Trump is ultimately, the buck stops with the president. He is to blame. But the Democratic Party did not have to go along with the original $2 trillion bailout. From what I remember, Joe Biden wasn't speaking out about the ridiculous notion that we're giving. I mean, you're talking once it's leveraged, anywhere from $4 to $6 trillion to multi-billion-dollar corporations that do not need a bailout. They're coming after the fact. Joe Biden is indignant at the lack of oversight. Well, where was your indignity at the fact that we were giving trillions of dollars to Boeing and Amazon and big banks and big corporations that do not need the money? Nancy Pelosi said, oh no, it's just a pass-through. We're just giving the money to these big corporations. It's a pass-through. It's going to their workers. No, it's not going to their workers. So Biden, Pelosi, Schumer, none of these Democrats were against the actual fact of giving them the money in the first place. They didn't have to give them the money. They could have, I know it's a radical concept for the Democratic Party, fought. They could have fought against it. And you know what? The public would be on their side, because the public would not have any tolerance for giving massive multi-billion-dollar corporate conglomerates trillions of dollars as we wait for the crumbs. Swirly Swirl, $20. YouTube won't let me send what I want to say, so here's $20. Well, Swirly Swirl, join the club, because YouTube is age restricting our videos now, which is apparently their next form of censorship, and severely suppressed this live stream. Majority of people did not get a notification from YouTube that we were live. That's why we sent out the text. But thank you, Swirly Swirl, for your continued generosity. Really appreciate it. So, it's just unbelievable. You have Great Depression level real unemployment. If the real unemployment is 25%, 24.9, so let's just round it 25%, now, what do you think it's going to be by the first week of June when the next round of unemployment numbers come out? Do you think this reopening the economy is suddenly going to spike and lower these economic numbers? Because, I don't know, call me old-fashioned. When I studied economics, for an economy to do well, you need something called customers. Well, the majority of these businesses that are reopening are not even going to have enough customers to meet overhead, because customers either don't have money or customers are tightening their belt because they don't want to go out and spend a lot of money, or they've been laid off. So we have a Democratic, presumptive nominee who's not officially the nominee. There's still time to abort the Titanic here. There is still time to abort. Because that's us, folks. We've already hit the iceberg. And the bourgeoisie is popping their champagne as they look at us sinking. Courtesy Colin Tooley. Wonderful graphic. It's just outrageous. And you want to know something? The reason, besides the fact that I think politically he is a Republican, Joe Biden, as I reported yesterday during my Sunday marathon, why this is so troubling is this is how Republicans stay in power. This is how Trump stays in power to continue fucking you and me. This feeble, mealy-mouthed, limousine liberal, bullshit platitude, restore the soul of the nation / stronger together, empty bullshit Democratic Party that's not offering you anything. They're just telling you why Trump needs to go down. I had somebody on Twitter today call me privileged when I said I'm not going to vote for Biden. And I'm not. I've decided I'm not voting for Biden. I am privileged in this way. I live in New York, so I could vote however I would like. Biden's going to win New York if he's ultimately the nominee. For people in Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Florida, I totally get those people who decide, you know what, I find Biden to be, horrible, but in this case, we just can't take Trump, and I'm going to vote for Biden. I don't fault anyone who feels that way. If I lived in a swing state, I might feel differently, but I don't. So that's how I'm voting. And somebody called me privileged, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, well, you could go ask the people of Flint, who I've been there 15 times, how privileged I am, or Standing Rock, or all the other communities that I've been to. I'm not privileged. I just personally, if I don't have to, I'm not going to vote for someone that I know is not going to help the working people of America. I'm not going to vote for somebody who is just offering a whole lot of hot air. I don't know if Joe Biden is elected president, what exactly is he going to do? What exactly is he going to do? I know his record, but I don't know what. He's not proposing anything that actually meets the level of the crisis. Cheryl, so you're going to settle, Jordan? I don't get what that means. Settle. I just said no, I'm not voting for it. So then you look at the Democratic Party. They are proposing another stimulus bill, which shows you their terrible negotiation tactics, because this should have been their first stimulus bill. But even this isn't enough for 25% unemployment. They say they're going to put forth another bill. It's going to be $750 billion. It's going to, the majority of it, hold on. Democrats largely see the bill as an opening negotiation stance with the administration, not legislation that will become law. The bill is $750 billion for states and local governments to use for pandemic-related costs and lost tax revenue. The Trump administration and Senate Republicans have objected to open-ended funding, worried that the funds could be used to shore up pensions and problems that existed long before the pandemic. Democrats also back additional direct relief to households on top of the checks and expanded unemployment benefits included in an earlier stimulus. Quote, we must pour more money into the pockets of the American people. Direct payments, unemployment insurance, rental and mortgage help, and student loan assistance are essential to relieve the fear many families are facing. So, a few things with this. Number one, I don't know. I mean, I searched 2 or 3 articles. I haven't found what direct payment are they proposing. Are they proposing what Bernie, Kamala Harris, and Ed Markey proposed? $2,000 a month for individuals, $4,000 for married couples, with an additional $2,000 per child? I don't know what direct payments means. If it's another $1,200 crumb cake, no thank you. We can't accept this shit anymore just because we're desperate. We need to demand more. Unemployment insurance, well, are you going to fix the existing problem at the insurance offices? It doesn't help if you expand unemployment if the state unemployment offices can't handle the claims. But, you know, this is, I don't know how to say it. This is good on its face, but it's not to the levels of the crisis. And there's another problem here. And Jen can tell you about this too, because we have experienced this quite a bit in our reporting in Michigan and in Flint. Thank you, George Allen, $10. Hey, Jordan, I think once Biden gets the nomination, they'll ditch him for somebody else. Well, he has the nomination, basically. But you might be right after the convention. You might be right. Alan Fix, CrowdStrike, $4.99. CrowdStrike admission they had no evidence Russia hacked the DNC, finally revealed. DNC 16 psychop finally dies. Now HRC waiting for Biden to croak. Hashtag hat. HHA. Hey, Aline FX, where were you yesterday? I did like an hour on this. The Russiagate hot air balloon that just popped. We'll post it tomorrow, some clips from that. And I'm going to have Aaron Mate on later this week. Obviously, Russiagate slayer, Aaron Mate. I'll have him on later this week about this. Major news. Nothing that we didn't know. I've been saying it for years that there was no evidence that Russia hacked the DNC. Now we have the CEO of CrowdStrike basically being like, Yeah, everything we said, we don't have actual concrete evidence for any of it. See ya. Bye. Thank you. George W. Bush just donated. Holy cow. Now all the warmongers and fossil fuckers and big bankers are giving us money. Actually, Jen, I don't know if we could accept this money because we do not take money from the bourgeoisie and the plutocrats. And now we're getting all this money. I mean, Barron Trump, George W. Bush, Chuck and Nancy yesterday. I don't know. We'll have to talk. I don't know if we could ethically accept this money. But thank you, George W. Bush. You know, go to hell. $100,421. Keep it coming. Hopefully, we could get some donations from non-war criminals, non-fossil fuckers, non-big bankers. We appreciate it. Obviously, it's not really these people donating. If it is, then I'm doing something very, very wrong. Mike Blair, $20. Since I pissed off my aunt regarding Trump and God, here's $20. She's a nun. Oddly, my mom was proud. Mike, next time you do that, make sure you take video. That could go viral. Pissed off aunts and Trump? Oh my God, that could have went super viral. Thank you for the $20, Mike. So here's the problem. And again, I'm not trying to pick on Nancy and the Democrats too harsh because Trump has been equally awful. And the Republican Party, by the way, which is disgusting, their main priority right now is not getting you money. It's making sure they could pass into law that corporations have no liability in terms of coronavirus. So if Amazon or Total Wine or Kroger Groceries, which we're hearing horror stories about, if they don't have the safety equipment for you, the PPE, the mask, if they force you back into work, if you don't feel safe, if they intimidate or retaliate against you, if their recklessness or negligence gets you sick or worse, you die, they won't be at all responsible. That's the Republicans' big priority, shockingly. But why I'm so fed up with the Democrats, it's very simple. And this is what FDR would have done. FDR had his own problems. Just give every American a debit card, like Rashida Tlaib proposed. It's not that complicated. We print money for a lot of things. We print money for war. We print money for tax cuts for wealthy people. We print money for oil subsidies. And where the Democratic Party, with this technocratic, very, very technocratic and wonky proposal, which is to give the states money. Hey, that sounds wonderful, to give the states money. It's great optically. But you want to know the problem with giving the states money? Here's the problem with giving the states money. Give you a perfect example. Jen and I know this one well. Congress, under Obama, earmarked $170 million for Flint to go towards the water crisis. Guess who that money went through? The money didn't just go to the residents of Flint in a debit card to fix their pipes, to get the health care they needed. No, it goes through the governor of the state. So in that case, it was Rick Snyder. You want to know how much of that $170 million went to Flint for water relief? It was not $170 million, I can tell you that much. It is often the case, because America, we have legalized corruption, that money goes to the states, but it goes through the state government, which is run by the governor. So if you are putting coronavirus relief through the states, well, guess who usually makes decisions on the state levels too? The donors behind the governors. The donors run our country. So I got news for you. The Democrats could earmark $750 billion. What was it, $750 billion or million? Yeah, billion to go to states for coronavirus relief. I got news for you. I would be very, very surprised if a quarter of that money actually went to keeping workers, public sector workers, covering their salaries, and putting money in your pockets. Because there are no strings attached in our government. When these bailouts go out, there are no strings attached. Whereas European countries, there are actually strings attached when governments when the central government send out money. We're getting another GoFundMe? Holy cow, George Lineweber. Thank you for the $10, George. Appreciate it. Now at $100,431. And we also have some super chats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Michael Williams, $10. Jordan, face it. Every elected official, Fed, state, and local, are unindicted unindicted criminals, every last one of them. It's gone too far, and we are seeing the collapse of an empire. There is no stopping it. What do you mean, face it? I've been telling you this, Michael, for the last 5 years. You face it. Look at the flag, pal. I'm just kidding, Michael. I don't need to face it. I agree with you. And by the way, Jen and I have to talk about this because I think it's time we get this United Corporations of America trademarked. We can't get the flag trademarked because it's from another company.
They're ghosting you.
Which they're ghosting us, by the way. We've reached out to them to try and see if we could make some type of deal because I know they're getting a lot of purchases because of this live stream. A lot of people have been asking for the link to purchase this flag, but they do not have the trademark on the United Corporations of America, and I want it. I want it. Thank you, Michael. Andy P, $10. Happy Mother's Day, Jen. She thanks you. Jameson Doan, $5. Seattle City Council moved to postpone vote of Sawant tax Amazon bill. Protests happening right now. Live streaming of public hearing 1 hour ago. Shocking. Shocking. I interviewed Shama Sawant last week, and we talked about that. Not shocked at all. But by the way, this is a perfect example, Jameson. Do you think it was the city council members who are just on their own deciding to postpone the vote on Shama Sawant's very sensible Amazon head tax, which would charge Amazon pennies, $250 per employee Amazon would have to pay to go towards affordable housing and coronavirus relief? You think it's the city council members just of their own free will that are stopping that vote? Or do you think it's Amazon who's putting all the money in their pockets to keep them in power? We are one big, corrupt, legalized auction in America. So that's why I don't agree with $750 billion going to the states. Because if the money is being routed through Virginia Governor Ralph Northam or Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who, by the way, when she was coming in as Michigan governor, I know the media loves her. I know she's on every channel all day long now. What did Trump call her? That woman from Michigan is now the superstar. You know, she's the new, hot thing in the Democratic Party. On the top of the list, being considered for Biden's VP, I think it's going to be Amy Klobuchar personally. She promised Flint that she would reopen the water pods in Flint. When she was coming in as governor, she was going to reopen those water stations that the poisoned residents of Flint, majority black city, she was going to reopen those water pods that the Republican governor shut down. Well, guess what? 16 months in, they're still shut down. We're working on some things, by the way, on reporting on Whitmer and some investigative stuff. So, when the money is routed through even Democratic legislatures and governors, trust me, there's always seems to be some pet projects and some rerouting of that money to private foundations, to private corporations, to think tanks, to 501c somethings, nonprofits. The money is always laundered in a lot of other places. Yeah, some of it will go to what it's supposed to. But do you think in a country where they cannot even audit the Pentagon? They can't audit the Pentagon? No, seriously, they tried auditing the Pentagon. The auditors just threw up their hands and said, we can't actually audit the Pentagon because it's so fucking corrupt. There's literally no way to audit. The accounting is not even existent for half of these programs. Thank you, George Allen, $10. If Biden even won in November, they would have this VP take over due to his cognitive decline. I think that's possible. So I'm telling you, folks, I think we're in really, really uncharted territories. And unfortunately, we don't have a leader like FDR. We have Donald Trump, who seems to be more focused on, retweeting conspiracy theorists than actually meeting the moment of the crisis. And Joe Biden, who essentially has been told by Obama people running his campaign that we can win by just tweeting out platitudes from your basement. Act accordingly. Jameson, another $5. Mayor Durkin is like Bezos' elf on a shelf, abhorrently corrupt. Amazon could pay for head talks for 250 years with 1/4 of the profit they make in 1 year. I completely agree. That's why I went to Seattle last year. We covered Amazon's corruption. We interviewed homeless people. We showed the homelessness epidemic in Seattle that's being caused by companies like Amazon. And Amazon currently is treating its workers horribly. You should see the direct messages I'm getting from Amazon workers nonstop during this pandemic. Most of them just don't want to go on the record because they're afraid of losing their jobs, which they would, as we saw with Chris Smalls. So that's it, folks. I'll be back tomorrow around 4:30 Eastern time tomorrow, 1:30 Pacific. Oh, we are having our members call, our monthly members call on Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern time. So we'll make a graphic for it tomorrow. But if you are a Status Coup member, you'll get the link to join our members call Wednesday night, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. It's our monthly members call through Zoom. We've been doing it since the beginning. It's a video call, but you don't have to be on video. You can mute your video and just listen and not be on camera. So sign up if you want to join that members call. You can become a Status Coup member for as low as 16 cents per day. That's 16 cents a day. $5 a month that comes out to. So sign up if you can. We totally get it. If you can't, tough times for a lot of people. But if you can, membership is our core model. That's how we grow. That's how we don't have to do GoFundMes forever and ever. Membership and a sustainable membership model is how we grow for the long haul. And we are in this for the long haul. There will be an end to this where we could get back in the field and cover the stories no one else is touching, but we need you. We don't just talk about doing it, we walk the walk. We have been all over this country thanks to you, and we want to keep going all over this country. But we need your support. This is where we got to add some things there because we've been to other places that aren't on that map. But this is where we've been with a very limited budget, and we want to be in many other places. So sign up if you can, statuscoup.com/join. I will see you tomorrow.